All right. Welcome back. On this week's episode of the MentalEdge Podcast, your hosts, Amanda Lopez, and his trusty sidekick, Jaywa Casey, talk about what it means to be the star of your own personal comeback story, as well as share with the listeners what their favorite stories are. I hope you're ready for a great episode. I know I am. And as always,
without further delay,
I'm like, oh man, I remember that. I remember that phrase from when we were kids, you know?
That's one of my favorite rap songs of all time. It's like that song is actually really hard. You know what I mean? Like, Mama said knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. What wouldn't you do for your mom?
What wouldn't you do for your mom? And I Googled, there's a story behind that.
Go ahead, talk to me. Well, you might want to record.
We're recording.
Oh, okay.
We're live.
We are live for the comeback story.
And I'm Jaywa Casey.
And I'm Fernando Lopez.
And this is the MentalEdge Podcast, and this is our third episode.
Número 3.
I don't know another language. I'll never be as cool as you. And you sent me a text and said, I want to read it, because this is what cool guys do.
We motivate each other and send each other messages.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that heart in those lips, but anyway, here we go. It says, become the hero of your own movie. There are a few things more captivating than a good comeback story. And I was like, my mind was going, what did you mean by that when you sent that to me?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was feeling vulnerable because of the stuff I've been going through this week, and I had to channel the inner bad boy, also known as my superhero, my alter ego.
I love that.
And kind of, I feel like I got certain superpowers, and one is that I am super self-motivated. So
definitely one of your powers, Fernando.
So sometimes I'm in a place where it's kind of dark, and I have to get myself out, man. And channeling in is one of the ways I do it. And I just keep doing it all day until I'm out. When I'll get depressed sometimes. I'll feel low, and I have to work my way out, man. I just don't try not to. I always tell people. I tell my kids too, all the time. I was like, hey, just don't sleep there. Don't stay there.
That's right. Don't marinate in that spot.
Yeah,
right. That's so good. Yeah, get out of it, and whatever your superpower is, that's a phenomenal superpower to have. I wonder if you could relate that to a comic book superpower. What would it be? Because is it more mental, or is it?
It's more mental.
Is it strength?
No, definitely more mental. 100% for me, more mental. Mm-hmm. It definitely is.
Awesome.
Which kind of I thought about what you said right now in episode 1. You know what I'm talking about?
Xavier.
Yeah.
Right? Is that his name?
Yep. Yeah. So.
That's probably the most interesting power to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a million other things that are flashier, but when I think about effectiveness, I don't care how strong you are if I can control your mind.
Right.
I got you, man. Your strength is my strength.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, comeback story?
Yeah.
That's today?
Yeah, that's episode. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about your comeback story, and I like how you said like something about like your own movie. Mm-hmm. I think that's great, because I think people's story is amazing. And one of my favorite things when we go to church, and I used to go to another church, and the pastor was the master of this. Have you ever noticed when people tell personal stories in church, like all of a sudden people put their phones down? Mm-hmm. They're listening, and then they start telling a story, and then people and I think that there's power in relation, and things are and they relate to you. And I think thinking about how to tell your story and to tell it in a way that's digestible and people love it, I think that's a superpower.
Sweet.
I really do.
I love that. And I've been trying to do that for a long time. And I love reading your stories. So
thank you. You're a motivator
works.
too.
Yeah. It works. Every time I read your little Facebook post or a story, there's a couple people that I really look forward to like reading their stuff. Another guy is Carl Cochran. He went to Edison.
Yeah. I'm going to look him up.
Dude, that guy can tell a story.
That's awesome.
And he used to be a Gary Cap, so like he'll have like
Oh my gosh.
real life stories of Gary Caps. It would just be some random thing that happened to him. You're reading this thing, you're like, oh yeah, this is great. So I think you
Wow.
and him should get
Carl
together
Cochran.
and get a book together. Put a book together.
I'm gonna hit him up.
Yeah.
That's an awesome compliment when you tell people that you want to read their content. Because I think sometimes I'll scroll past something and if it's too lengthy, I don't know what it is. If it's the way we consume media
Nowadays, yeah, we probably are conditioning ourselves a certain way.
I can't wait for the microwave to finish. I
another 2
28
minutes?
seconds
Yeah.
and I never let it get to 0. What the heck am I doing? Come on. It's the microwave. So, and I don't know if we're conditioned that way now. I don't know, I hope not, because if you catch me outside, no,
about
just
that?
kidding. How about that? If you catch me in the first couple sentences, it's like modern day music.
Yeah.
Modern day music.
We just did it. Right now.
Just did it.
Yeah.
You have to capture your audience in milliseconds,
Yeah.
or because guess what you do in life? You scroll on by.
Ooh.
Sad but true, right? Yeah. So you sent me that, and the first thing when you said comeback, I said, "Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah.
I've been here for years," and I'm like, I wonder if that has meaning.
Google.
Enter Google. I got the Googling,
Yep.
and sure enough, this is what
Check your Googles.
This is what it said. It said, Mama Said Knock You Out was inspired by LL Cool J's grandmother, who told him to knock out critics who were disappointed in his previous album.
Ooh, man.
He took somebody whose opinion was coveted to him.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to be careful. Like, the people that you love will just tell you what they think you want to hear because they're managing your baggage. Lord help you.
Right.
But he respected her opinion enough to power him through the opinion of a bunch of other people. And maybe it was a bad album, but it didn't mean he had to be done.
Right.
Junior. It actually inspired a song that we probably know him best for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thought that was awesome. Kind of a comeback story, I
Great.
suppose.
Yeah. Great comeback story for him. And he's still here.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's probably one of them guys, like, there's certain rock bands, they can do nothing for 15 years, but
Yeah.
like, you would go to an LL Cool J show, everyone would have that one leg rolled up, and they'd be 14, and you'd be like, how does he even know about this, right? Why is he here, you know?
Right, why is he here?
These soccer moms right next to
Yeah, yeah.
15-year-old kids.
Checking out his 18-year-old abs. Because that guy, that dude is ripped.
What is
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah. Yeah. So I get it. I get it. Awesome, man. I do want to go check out and see what album it was that came out before.
Yeah,
that
I almost
album.
want to go listen. That's
Yeah.
great. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
it tomorrow.
check it out.
When I should be working. So do you have a favorite true comeback story or fictional? I don't care.
Yeah.
And it can be sports related. Sometimes they're not sports related. When I started asking people in my office,
Yeah.
like, what's your favorite comeback story? Most common
Yeah.
theme
Yeah.
was a sports story.
Okay.
But do you have something that clicks in your head? Like when I say, hey, man, come back.
Comeback story. Man, you're just throwing me for some loops.
That's mean, isn't it? Like, what? The first thing that the guy said in my office, he's like, well, dude, I love the story of Rudy.
Oh, I get it now.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, like, I suppose that's not really a comeback, but because for me, a comeback story is you were there, now you're downtrodden, and then boom, you're back in the game. Like you were resilient in the midst of some adversity that might have even totally been justifiable. But I Googled some other stuff.
Okay.
And maybe this will inspire you because your mind just sucking it up. But this blew my mind. J.K. Rowling. I don't watch Harry Potter. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Please, all the Jesus people, don't get mad at me because I'm talking about J.K. Okay.
I got you.
I'm telling you right now, I just want to say this. She's a billionaire for whatever reason, right? She got rejected by the first 12 publishing houses. 12 times somebody said no to her. Normally, somebody saying no to me once is enough for me to go, okay. That's mind-boggling.
Right.
12 times no, 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 we're not interested. No, no,
Right.
no.
Right. This is crazy.
That's awesome, man. It inspires me to at least want to not listen to the no's,
Right.
you know?
You did inspire something. This is a
What I-
personal comeback story.
I want to hear it. I can't wait.
Yeah, this is crazy. So, man, I'm inspired to tell this one because this was a great moment in my life. Not so great when it was happening, but later on I look at it and now I can use it. Like talking about it today. So, I was at church and our Sunday school and our Sunday school teacher for the Spanish Sunday school ended up leaving for whatever reason. I'm not sure what happened, but they were gone. And I was there. I was I was a supporter of the Spanish Sunday school. So I was asked to step up.
Hey, what are you doing in the next 2 minutes? We need you.
We need you. So I end up to start teaching the class. It was very difficult, but I did it because like I had to do everything in English and then translate it to Spanish. And then, so it was rough, but I did it. Awesome thing that came out of that class was the class was really into, they wanted to go into the east side of Lake Station at the time.
Okay.
And they really wanted to go in and help that community, that part of the community. And there was, at the time, there was a trailer park in that part of the community, big trailer park. It's no longer there. It got washed away when the river kind of came over.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right. So that trailer area, that park was, that community was gang infested. Like gang infested. It was crazy gangs everywhere through that whole community. So I end up, this is where these people want to go. Now, what I didn't tell you is the class was like 95% women. Like they were basically all women. I was the guy leading this evangelistic style thing. And I think there was, at the time there was no man. It was just me. No, there was one more man. I apologize. There was one more man. I love this guy. So we end up, I'll never forget, we're going to get there on Saturday and everybody's gun ho. And for me, I grew up and I know that area and I'm thinking to myself, okay, man, how are we going to get past those guys? Right? So, yeah. So, but this was the least part that I have to worry about. I get there. We take about 10 steps into this community and almost instantly the gang comes up. Bunch of guys come up. First off, just to give you an example of like, I'm going to paint the picture. So it's kind of desolate looking, a lot of broken down trailer parks, no windows. Every kid was in his diapers. That was their outfit. No shoes, no socks. Like literally they're just running around.
This is real poverty.
Yes. There's glass everywhere. And these, and these people, we're walking into this and we just really want to serve and, hopefully touch someone's life. We get in there and we're approached right, like off the bat. So, luckily I have decent people skills and I was able to get the leader to come out. I explained to him that what we're doing and we'd like to be here all summer. And, I don't know how, but I was able to, he said, you know what? That's cool. You guys have free reign here. Everybody heard him say it. He was like, you guys can come in.
You got the nod.
Yeah, we got the nod. We're in. So, but this is the part where the adversity comes in, right? So, this was one of my first endeavors in ever doing this, especially locally, community, this type of environment. I'll never forget. I go knock on the first door, and as soon as the guy opens the door, he looks at me and he slams the door in my face. After I give him a little spiel, boom, no answer, just door slammed in my face. I felt horrible. I was like, man, that was kind of harsh. I was already nervous, but now I am like terrified to go to door number 2. Door number 2, I get there, and as I'm walking up, he looks, boom, closes the door. I'm like, oh, man. So it hurt. Door number 1 hurt. Door number 2 was brutal. By the time I got to door number 3, I actually didn't want to go in the door number 3.
Yeah, you're batting 1,000.
Yeah. So I get there, and more of the same. So I'm telling you, this was probably, it had to be like 6 blocks. Doors being slammed in my face. Nobody wants to talk to me. They're just pretty much some people are cussing at me. One guy walks over to the door with a gun. I turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I ain't going to that door, right? So, but these women, and I'm a little bit scared, like for like the hostility that the people are that I'm experiencing from even the people in that community. And I'm like, man, you know. So, long story short, I told you that there was another guy on the team, and this guy, he was an older man, and there was one trailer, and it was really bad. This trailer was really, really bad. And as we're walking past it, man, I didn't want to go in. I didn't want to knock on the door. So he's like, I think he saw that I didn't want to do that, and he goes, "Hey, go to this side, the one over here." And he goes and he knocks on that door, and he hears something. It was like a faint voice. He goes, "Hey, Junior, come here." So I run over there. I was like, "What's up?" He goes, "Do you hear that?" And I hear, come in. Really, you know, like real low voice in the distance. And I'm like, man, you think we should go in here? This place looked like it was abandoned, you know? We go in there, man. What an awesome experience. The lady was bedridden. She couldn't come to the door. She was really, really sick. We end up praying for her. She was a lovely, beautiful woman. We end up, you know, explaining to her why we're wanting to be in this community. And, you know, she was our biggest cheerleader. Okay. It was awesome. That inspired me to keep going to the doors, keep knocking on the doors. I did not see any change right away. It was an entire summer. We devoted every Saturday to go there for the entire summer. And it wasn't until about like week 3 or 4 that I finally started making headway, and I actually some people would actually talk to me. So my comeback story is the fact that I could have quit early on.
Yeah.
It was brutal, but that little bit of inspiration, that little bit of like what happened in that trailer with that woman, and if it wasn't for Frank, like being obedient and going and like doing the hard stuff, because we talked about before we started the podcast, we talked about sometimes there are people that are doing what you do, but they've just been doing it a little longer, right? What do they have? They have that experience.
Yeah,
on
they
them.
have experience.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
I'm not saying that he did it better or did it worse or anything like that. What I'm saying is that he was there for a little bit longer. He's done it a little bit. He's been here on earth a little bit longer. He had the wherewithal, like, you know, he was like, you know what? I'm just going to go do it. And he did what he knew I wasn't going to do at the time. But then I was inspired by that. And that's
phenomenal.
Yeah.
2 seconds before you said the word obedience.
Yeah.
I said, man, I'm going to talk about obedience when he's done. And then you blew
awesome.
my mind, you know. And then I love that story. And I'm going to tell you there's a couple things I love about that story already. First of all, we should just end right now because I got nothing like that.
Whatever.
And let me just say
You got
this
5
too.
minutes and 20 seconds, dude.
Man.
Make it happen.
This is a turbo episode. And then when you said you were with a bunch of Spanish women, the first thing that we were with a bunch of women who look like Salma Hayek.
Ooh, but no,
where's your church at? So, but what I love about your story is most people, Junior, would have stopped at one of those doors before you got to the one, and then even you were willing. You were hesitant, and then somebody said, "Hey, man," they saw that because you're all there in obedience, and he heard the faintest voice.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then that beautiful experience, because you two men were obedient, powered you through that and kept you coming back for months. Yeah. And you never know, like the fact that you kept coming back, because those people have been let down.
Yeah,
Fernando, so many times people come down there, it's usually for harm. It's usually to prey on them one way or another, or because they think they're better than them and they want to help them, right? If that's what you got for people, shut your pie hole, because you're more part of the problem than you'll ever know. Okay, you know better than those people down there. They need your prayer. I hope you've been there.
Yeah,
I hope you've had that metaphorical moment in life where you were in a bad spot and somebody stepped up and was obedient. I love that story, man. I know that area, and I'm going to tell you, I grew up 9 blocks away from that area. I was definitely afraid of that area. Going down that hill and heading to that area, I've probably been there twice in my life. Both occasions, I escaped narrowly with my bicycle. Like someone said, "Come here, kid," and I knew it.
Ugh.
I knew it, and then he started running after me. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is 9 blocks from where I live."
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
hiding my bike in my garage at night.
Yeah.
I'm covering up with a blanket.
Yeah.
And I loved where I came from.
Yeah.
But I was 9 blocks from that.
You got to know. You got to be careful sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was phenomenal.
yeah.
Man, you've done a lot of great things, Junior, and please don't stop. That's your superpower too.
Yes. That's awesome.
Rudy was definitely my favorite sports comeback story, I suppose, but he never really was down. So the only really personal comeback story was I let myself become something that I was ashamed of, physically and mentally, and it affected the way I treated people.
Right.
Because I was so insecure, and I was busy lying to myself about how I was taking care of myself, and I guess we all have those moments, right?
Yeah.
Where you better have that story that you're going to tell, Junior, about your even about your comeback is going to be not just for you.
Right.
That's a great story, and the one you just told, it was for me tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Awesome.
because I'm into obedience. It's my new thing. It's like one time I won't tell no other story. I tell you this, but I was in church, and when you're in the worship team, you don't always get to participate. You know that, right?
Yes, I get
you
it.
see people going through things and getting prayer, and you're like, man, I'd like some of that prayer.
Yeah.
I want some of that. Right, but that's cool. I mean, I know what my job is, and I love my job.
Yeah. We're worshiping.
So then this thing was, the pastor said, hey, we got 2 buckets up here. I want you to put the thing in the bucket that you want to get rid of, that you want God to take care of for you, right? And then I want, this thing is bothering you. I mean, you haven't given it to God.
It's a written thing?
So he won't write it down and put it in this bucket, right? And then I want you to put the other thing that you want, this is the thing you're getting rid of and the thing that you want.
Right.
And this guy's walking around, and he hands me the card to do it, right? And for whatever reason, Junior, we weren't on stage that day.
Really?
For whatever reason.
Right,
They brought
right,
us
right.
down, and normally they call us up.
Yeah.
I think I even got told, sit back down, I ain't done. I'm like, okay, cool. So here I am. I can do this thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't doing this thing. We don't do any of these things.
Right.
The guy leaves me, so I got to get up. I feel compelled.
Yeah.
I got to walk all the way across the church, grab this piece of paper. I tear up an offering envelope. I write my thing down. I start to write something down, and I'm like, I just made that up. That ain't it.
That's deep.
I actually battled the spirit of feeling unqualified, right? Inferiority,
Yeah.
inadequacy.
Right.
So I wrote that down. I crumpled it up. I put it in there. Okay. Now, you ever been to a church service where you're like, man, this might be for me today. I'm going up there because everybody gets, hey, come on up. We're going to pray for you with the prayer team. I decided to go up. Now, a lot of people don't believe in divine moments.
Right.
Okay, because they haven't had the moment where it's relevant for them.
Right.
This man that I love and respect, not my preacher, but I love him too, puts his hand on me, and he says, dude, I just threw this thing in that bucket.
There's no way he popped in there.
This is he's not Chris Angel mind freaking me. I threw this thing in this bucket 10 minutes ago. I changed what I was going to write on it before. He didn't.
Yeah.
He puts his hand on me and he says, Lord, I want you to remove the spirit of inadequacy. Whoa. So that
Good stuff.
was that moment
Yeah.
was part of my comeback.
Yes.
Right? Right when you needed to hear that lady's voice, Junior,
Yeah.
you heard it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if we have this recorded, but the other comeback story I think I told you was even with the workout where it had to be was you, the strong. We talked about that, episode 1?
Yeah.
I'm just bringing that back for a second because sometimes, it's not, it's what you see, right? Because God knows that sometimes sometimes people learn by reading, sometimes by, like the experience.
Yes.
And I felt at the time that you know, what I was watching was something that I really, really needed to see. You being my same age, I didn't know you were going through the same thing. Like just right before that, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you were feeling down. So you started doing something about it. That spark was the catalyst for what then has been the last 6 years of my life.
That's awesome, man.
You know what I mean? It started, I think, 5 years ago. You're 46? You started at 40?
46.
Did you start at 40? Was it 40 strong?
So at 40, I started doing those fun videos, but I had really started around 38.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I started making changes a little before, I think it was the 40 strong. So it had to be like 6 years ago. For sure, 6 years ago. Because if I looked at myself 6 years ago, I'm not this guy.
Yeah, that's the moment I had.
Yeah,
I saw a picture, and
that guy ate this guy.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like people literally look at that, and they're like, and it's not like I was overweight. It's just the bottom line, and you don't even resemble yourself. And that's, guys, I'm not ever gonna say you can't accept who you are.
No.
I'm saying
I accept I'll never have a six pack.
Right, like I'm cool with a pony keg.
Yeah. I will never have a six pack. Well, because I care about it so much that I cover it with a layer of fat.
That's right. I'm protected. It's insulated.
Protecting it. Yeah. So but that was, I know cool. Sometimes we'll bring stuff back, but I brought it back because, that's context to like what we're talking about here today, guys. Mm-hmm. We, that's the comeback story. Sometimes the inspiration comes from things you hear sometimes, but the change is ultimately what you're going to need. You're going to need to change that mindset. You're going to need to, sometimes even change friends and change,
That's so true. Like what you put in you.
Yeah. What you eat is what you are.
That's right. That's so true.
You become what you eat.
And your comeback story, it's for you, but it doesn't end with you.
No.
It can be the inspiration for people you love, and I want my kids to run across photos of me in my early 30s, and almost be like, did Dad have another brother?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and then I want them to know that that I cared about myself, because to make changes so that I could even do more for them. That's the bottom line. It ain't even about you, bruh.
That is. That's awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is it? You became. What is it? Better, like fine wine, you become better with age.
That's right. I do. I feel better. I mean, I think you.
I do this. I do too.
I know I'm better looking. I saw them. I saw them pimply face photos. I'm like, good Lord, I can't even afford Clearasil.
Awesome, man. Well, again, thank you, Jay, for another inspiring message. Starting off.
I love the size of this message. It's power packed, right?
Yeah, we did it. We
protein.
wanted to get it in. What?
Yeah.
20. Well, we said 25 minutes. We got 27.
27 minutes. You got your dose of protein.
I can't say nothing else. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Later.
All right. Well, all right. That'll just about wrap it up. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Mental Edge Podcast. Your host, Fernando Lopez Jr.
Oh, he's so handsome.
And his trusty sidekick, Jay Casey.
Hey, that's me.
Seriously appreciate you spending time with us tonight. Remember, if you like this content, the most flattering thing you can do is like and share it, and then tune in for
episode number 4.